Hi, Robert Varden here at Taylor, continuing our series on pattern carpet deviation. We've talked about bow, skew, elongation. What I find most of the time is the installers don't really realize they've got an elongation issue until they've cut it, trimmed it, put it side by side, and then, it's one of those moments where they see that pattern continually and gradually grow away from the other one. One way to determine your elongation prior to ever cutting your material is a simple process we call pattern counting. Pattern counting is just taking a series of patterns, measuring that series of patterns, and measuring it in your multiple rolls side to side. So I'm going to bring Ray in. We're going to illustrate that for you. So Ray, he's going to start on a pattern point over there. We're going to pull the tape measure across. Let's see, Ray, what do we want to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. We're going to go with 15 patterns. And you want to remember that number because that's the exact same amount of patterns you want to count on every roll, side to side, everything. In this case, those 15 patterns measure exactly and be very precise. 15 patterns, 86.5 inches. Now let's check the other side, Ray. So again, you're going to use the same 15 patterns. Start on the same point. We're going to count 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, now we do have some elongation variation. Over there, we were at 86.5. On this side of the material, we're at 87.25. So what that means is, typically, if I have to trim this and trim that, and I've got a fill going from this side to the other side, that means I might have an elongation variation of just over 1/2 inch and just over 7 feet. So, 1/2 inch and 7 feet, it's workable. It's certainly workable. Make sure you don't create what we call a chevron bow when you go to create, fix the elongation. Make sure you do fix it all the way across the material. Depending on how many rolls, how big the job is, if it's just one roll and you're kind of checking beginning of end, you might check and you might find some closer pattern match. But let's say it's a large job, typically the situation, 10, 12, 14 rolls of material. You want to try to pattern count all those rolls. We used to just mark the numbers of what the count was on the outside of the roll. Because what that will enable you to do, most of the time we talk about, always install your material in roll sequence. What that simply means is you install those rolls in the sequence in which they were manufactured. You start jumping out of sequence, even if it's the same die lot, you can have some shading issues. But I don't know any manufacturer that would tell you that if you need to jump out of roll sequence to obtain a better pattern sequence, by all means do it. Because if I've got a little bit of shading, maybe I got to do a little bit of blending, that's one thing. If I'm fighting and you're fighting with a pattern deviation that's so bad that maybe you don't get it corrected or you create more of a problem than you do, definitely not what you want. So again, pattern counting, very simple means of determining any elongation prior to ever cutting the material. So remember, at Taylor, we're with you every step.